Gender bias, women being the visible victim, was found to be a relevant topic to be discussed. Since social media traps ready for women or girls in more visible, it is worth being talked even if prominent traps for boys are non-visible. In all ways possible, Ms. Nasrin stressed the need of tackling the problem faced by the women in social media, pointing out the real-life cases of adolescent girls being trapped by the social influences. She reminded again and again that it always ended in gender gap. Anupama was completely focusing on the past and present sceneries of the gender gap. She repeatedly pointed out the drastic effect of gender discrimination. She sounded so inspiring that I would feel all the girls out there clapping for her self-explaining words. Dr. Srilu's focus was on health throughout the discussion. Her stand was as if for a healthy person everything follows. As a healthy mind only finds shelter in a healthy body, this healthy woman possessed the seat and gave us some really beneficial tips and remedies for a healthy life, and throughout the interview was promoting girls to improve and tarnish their skills. All health related issues being almost covered by her, she too was attracting, inspiring. Many number girls being dropped out of high schools even today, Sanika's foundation of discussion seemed extra relevant. Importance of education for women and various discrimination faced by women in all fields including education were her concerns. Finally, she was potential enough to provide us with some good vibes by herself, explaining about the lives and works of some women who could show their potential and skills in a country where gender discrimination reveals like anything else. I found myself in a state of commitment, covering almost all areas of gender discrimination and gender gap so useful. Hoping to be a part of such inspiring interviews in future.
Good morning, Ronajo. Hope you are safe at your home. And today I am so excited to stand in front of you with a panel of famous personalities, including Mrs. Nasri, the senior news editor of XYZ News, Mrs. Anupama, the social activist,
Dr. Srilakshmi.
We are going to discuss on the subject Indian women finding a space in social culture media. It's both privilege and pleasure for me to able to model this one and sitting in the midst of such a empowered woman. So let's begin from Mrs. Nasri, who has always stood for the marginal sections of the society. Ma'am, can you please share your experience on this topic?
To all of you who watched this panel discussion. It is a high time that we discuss such an issue. We all are living in a global village where we have all opportunities to be influenced by different kinds of media. Almost every one of us has an access to internet and many 24/7 channels and various social media platforms. Quite unaware of the fact that how these virtues are affecting women individually and collectively in how they view themselves and others. Relationships are fundamental aspects in women's behavior and advertisements exploits it. It turns people into objects and offers products as a replacement for human contact, producing serious effects on the self-esteem of women and adolescent girls. Not only this distort a girl's relationship, it also causes low self-esteem, which in turn may lead to related to self-mutilation, eating disorders, addiction and dating violence. Their target is women under 15 to 35. This neuromarketing strategy distort a girl's relationship. Lack of self-esteem leads to lack of self-confidence. This is not a good approach from the media as it presents men in a more realistic and in a positive way. In a more equal and humanistic world, the media's approach towards women should be rectified. Men and women, irrespective of their differences in caste, religion, upbringing and gender, should work tandemly and achieve something which is bigger than their faith and name. So as a media person, I strongly argue for self-esteem.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So now, Ms. Sanika, who is famous for timely intervention in various issues, let us hear to her experience.
Finding a space for women in the social cultural milieu is not a country-specific problem. It transcends across nations. The news surprises that, in total numbers, the US has more cases of rape and sexual assault than India does, including aggressive sexual assaults in the university campuses. After the Delhi Nirbhaya case, India is singled out on this issue. India has complex cultural attitudes towards its women. For a large majority of women in India, life is tough and uncertain. On one hand, media requires women to tantalize men towards it. On the other side, women's success stories are not given enough coverage. It is worthwhile to cite here an incident when our Prime Minister Modi gave a backhanded compliment to the Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for going tough on terrorism despite being a woman. Patriarchal attitudes are not changed even though the country has contributed 5 brands of freedom fighters. In the recent scenario of COVID, the country news was very effective in controlling the pandemic due to the effective and exemplary actions taken by their Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, being a woman. This shows that, give them the power, they can transform the whole world. For this, women need to be educated well. Educating girl child and putting them in school strengthens maternal health. Education provides mental strength and mental toughness. It in turn multiplies the number in labor force. Education and labor help women to break the shackles of exclusion and realize their potential. Actually, it is a proven fact that women labor force increases the GDP of a country. Educated women or employed women spend their money on developmental activities as against educated men. But the work environment should be productive and harmonious. In India, equal pay for equal work is still a distant dream, while safety in the workplace is a myth. Gender-specific issues are not yet addressed in the Indian workplace. Brutal working hours is also yet another factor. In India, different SOGs and NGOs have proven that women on assuming leadership become mentor and guide to other women. Prerna is one such organization working among rural women. In Kerala, we have an example of Rabia who made her entire village literate despite being confined in a wheelchair. So, what I am meaning to convey is, by providing them better education, employment opportunities, safety in the workplace, and by recognizing their right and dignity, we can empower women in all its sense. Thus, India has raised its head among the countries of the world by enhancing the pride of its women.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to turn on Miss Anupama, who always put forward campaigns for women empowerment. Ma'am, can you please share your experience with us?
As a social activist, in my point of view, women empowerment is the process of empowering women. Empowerment means accepting and allowing people who are on the outside of the decision-making process into it. People are empowered only when they are able to access the opportunities available to them without any limitations and restrictions such as in education, professions and lifestyle. Empowerment can also provide power to individuals to take decisions on their own lives, society and their communities. Gender equality and women empowerment is essential for a society to ensure the sustainable development of our country. Many world-famous leaders and the scholars argue that sustainable development is impossible without the gender equality and women's empowerment. India is a country where the women are given the status of the goddess. However, the problems they have faced is just opposite to this concept. In the early years, there were so many problems faced by our Indian women, such as sati, no widow remarriage and Devadasi system and much more. Well, most of them are not prevalent now, even though there were so many problems faced by our Indian women. They have to go through gender discriminations, dowry-related harassment, lack of education, sex abuse and gender inequalities. The best example for gender discrimination is a male child is always encouraged by the family to go to school. At the same time, a female child is told to learn the household works. Women are not considered equal to men. They face discriminations in almost every place. It is whether at the workplace or at the home. Even the little girl becomes the victim of these discriminations. Opportunities must be provided equally for men and women. It does not matter whether it is the medical field or sports field. Opportunities must be equal. We must come together to empower women. They must be provided equal educational opportunities. Furthermore, they must be paid equally. Moreover, the law must be made more stringent for crimes against women. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now let me turn to
Dr. Sri Lakshmi.
ma'am. Could you please share your views with us?
Good morning. First I say that woman and healthy woman, only a healthy woman can bring a healthy nation. And the gender is the main social determination of the health in the India and affects human health outcomes even before birth. As women mature in the adulthood, practice the lack of education, empowerment, increase health inequalities. Then as a woman barrier to seeking medical care and to and making medical choices. Although the process of women empowerment is the complex to measure, one indicator is the confidence. We sought to increase the confidence in abilities. We sought to increase the confidence of the rural Indian women in their ability by making them as health care or providing other cares. We adapted the curriculum to cultivate the following skills, such as the public speaking. Each woman to teach has small groups a portion of their curriculum. And the leadership. The second one is the leadership. Each woman led a large group discussion on the topic, as a particular topic, or with a particular topic. Then the autonomy and the decision making. Autonomy and decision making. That is, each woman had to care several stimulated patients, making discussions about diagnosis, treatment, and transportative and stimulating a phone call to an urban doctor. Laying and her plan for the patients. Laying her plans. These are plans.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's have a review on this section. Now, it's my great privilege to take opportunities for thanking all the panelists. I extend my sincere gratitude to the audience for supporting and also for their cooperation. Let's pray for a well-being society. Let's join our hands to build up the better tomorrow. Thank you.